Welcome back, folks, to the random video blog of the week, every single Friday, where I give my rambling thoughts in the world of wrestling, everything else going on in the world around me, share some stories from the past, and so on and so forth. Last week here in the video blog, I recalled my experience meeting an inspirational icon of mine, Matt Hardy, 3 years ago in Northeast Wrestling, as well as last year also in Northeast Wrestling. So I figured it was only fitting, considering he is in the news this week, and I'll talk about that at the end of this video, to recall my experience meeting another favorite legend of mine, Scott Hall, at that very same event, that same Northeast Wrestling show from 1 year ago this month. So as I mentioned in that Matt Hardy video from last week, it was June 7th, 2014. Already knew that the two top stars were going to be there. It was Matt Hardy and Scott Hall. There might have been a few other people. I know Christy Hemme was there, and I'll get back to her in a second. She has to do with this story. There might have been a few other people, but easily I saw Hardy, I saw Hall on the marquee, and I'm like, I have to be there. I have to go. So I got tickets for my dad for my birthday. We went. It was a Saturday. Had a great time. And Matt Hardy, as I said before, I'd already met him. I met him 2 years ago, or 3 years ago, but 2 years ago from that point. And wanted to talk to him again. That was great. One of the best, most friendly wrestlers I've ever met. But Scott Hall was another first for me. Matt Hardy had already met before. Scott Hall was a first. Now, being a huge NWO mark that I am, and I was not around during the 90s. I mean, I was born in 95, but I was not a wrestling fan when the NWO was at their peak in the late 90s, even when they came into WWE in early 2000s. I didn't get into wrestling for long after that. But still, though, and watching old videos, I don't know, just something about the NWO just stuck with me about 5 or 6 years ago, and I became a huge mark for the NWO. And part of that might have been because I own WWF No Mercy, but also WCW Nitro versus NWO, or whatever it is, Revenge, for the N64, Nintendo 64. Came out in like the late 90s, early 2000s, whatever. They're all over that game. So that probably had something to do with it as well. But always been a huge NWO mark. And I almost got the chance, also in Northeast Wrestling, to meet Kevin Nash a couple years ago, October 2011. He had to pull out from the event for whatever reason. I think there was a WWE pay-per-view that Sunday, but I don't think he even appeared on that show. He had to pull out for whatever reason. I was a bit disappointed, but now I got the chance to meet another NWO, another former NWO member, Scott Hall. I'm one of the original members at this show. So I was extremely excited. I went to go talk to Matt Hardy for 5 minutes, told that story in last week's video blog. So after meeting Matt Hardy, I had my Stronger Than Death t-shirt on, but underneath that shirt, I had my NWO shirt. Now, I had this huge dilemma in the days leading up to this event. Was I going to wear my Stronger Than Death Matt Hardy shirt or my NWO shirt? Because I knew I was going to take pictures with both guys. I didn't know what I was going to do. So I decided on wearing just both shirts, and I would just take one off when I went to go meet one, and when I went to go meet the other guy, I would wear their shirt in the photo. So if you see both photos, they're on my website, nextwrestling.net. They're on Facebook and stuff. I've used the Scott Hall one is my banner photo on Twitter as well as Facebook, I think, as well. I'm wearing the NWO picture. I'm wearing the NWO shirt in that picture. I'm wearing the Stronger Than Death t-shirt in the Matt Hardy photo. Anyway, I'll probably use the Scott Hall photo as a thumbnail for this video so you can see it for yourself. But anyway, also in the days leading up to this event, I had this brilliant idea the day before the show. By that point, it was way too late. That and I've showed it here in this video blog before, to bring my Jack-specific Intercontinental Championship belt. Now, you're probably asking, why would you want to bring a toy belt to meet a wrestler or whatever? This specific belt, and as I mentioned, it was in a video blog that I did here on the channel late September, early September last year, if you want to check it out. I used to collect the Jack-specific title belts. I have like 20 of them. I have a lot of them. They were only like $10 each at like Toys R Us. I bought them over like a 2-3 year span. And the Intercontinental Championship belt I did not buy. My friend John at John's Jargon, at _ John's Jargon on the Twitter, one of my best friends in the world, he gave me that belt when we went to our first ever Northeast Wrestling show. And over the course of that time, I had Jerry Lawler sign that belt, Matt Hardy, Carlito, Finley, Shelton Benjamin, a number of other guys, Booker T, a lot of cool names signed that championship belt. So I had 5 or 6 names on that title. And of course, the Intercontinental Championship is synonymous with Scott Hall, aka Razor Ramon. So I'm thinking, that'd be so freaking sweet if I can add his name to that list on that championship. If he could sign that belt in addition to getting a picture. But unfortunately, the box of belts that I had, including the Intercontinental Championship, were moved when I left for college in 2013, and it was moved to my grandmother's house, I think, or something like that. and I just couldn't get over there in time to go get it, so I was unable to bring it. I was a bit disappointed, but it was fine though. I haven't gotten it signed by anyone else since then. I was gonna bring it to the show, the Legends of Wrestling show this past week. I just, again, didn't have the time to go get it. But anyway, and I've since found the belt. That's why I was in the video blog last year. So I was a bit disappointed about that. It didn't ruin my experience at all. I was still able to get a picture with Scott Hall, just sitting there behind his table. I went from the Matt Hardy line to the Scott Hall line, so it took all of 2 minutes. I approached him. I said, much respect, congrats in the WWE Hall of Fame. He showed me, here's the ring, and he showed me his ring. So we had, a brief mini conversation, and I think it might have been before or after we took the picture, and the picture, I thought it came out great. And before or after we took the picture, and to the right of Scott Hall was Christy Hemme, who was also doing autograph signings. I really had no desire to meet her. I just didn't really care, to be honest with you. No disrespect to Christy Hemme, but if you got Matt Hardy, Christy Hemme, and Scott Hall, and if you're only going to pay to meet 2 of these people, who are you going to meet? Of those 3 people, I had to go with Hardy and Hall, of course. I was, had to skip over Christy Hemme maybe some point down the line. But anyway, while we're taking the picture, he looks over at Christy Hemme. He's like, I love the placement of my table here because I can look at that broad's ass. That fucking ass right there. And he said it word for word, not even joking. He looks over at Christy Hemme and he says, that broad's got a nice fucking ass. And I was just bursting out laughing. That's why I'm smiling at that. I mean, I would have smiled regardless, but that's why I'm smiling is, ear to ear. My smile's as wide as from ear to ear in that picture because he had said that to me. I think before we took the picture, and I thought that was great. Like I said, congrats in the Hall of Fame. You're an awesome talent. Love the NWO, blah, 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 blah. And we did the NWO thing in the photo. I think he did that with everybody, but I was wearing my NWO shirt in the picture. He was wearing a Scott Hall NWO t-shirt, or one of his own custom-made t-shirts. And we did the hand signal, the click signal, NWO, whatever. Got the picture taken. I was bursting out laughing. He said, thanks for the Hall of Fame stuff. He showed me his ring, and that was about it. So a very short and sweet experience meeting Scott Hall. And as I mentioned, he is in the news this week. He recently re-entered rehab, detox, I think it was called. He mentioned in the tweet, whatever you want to call it. He's back in rehab after kind of falling off the wagon. I guess you could say it's not that bad. I guess he had some incident at an indie event a couple of weeks ago, and he was pulled off the Global Force Wrestling roster, whatever. He was having some issues recently. So much respect to him, as I said before, for the Hall of Fame. Much respect to him again to doing what's right, going back in rehab. I think it's awesome. A lot of congratulatory tweets from a lot of wrestlers, a lot of stars from the wrestling world. It's great to see, he's doing the right thing by going back in rehab. I wish him all the best. Hopefully I can meet him again down the line. But great for him. I think that's awesome. I read that, actually on the anniversary of when I met him. I think he put that tweet out either on Sunday, or I think it was Sunday or Monday. So, congrats to him. Hopefully he can come back, stronger and better and healthier than ever. And I look forward to his road to recovery. But again, meeting Scott Hall, awesome guy, very, very funny, very down to earth. So if you get the chance to meet him, definitely do so. He's an awesome guy and you won't regret it.